Okay, so we're back to the review questions for chemistry, chapter 4, and we're going to start with number 19. So these are the review questions on pages 124 and 125. So number 19 says, draw the Lewis structure for the ion that potassium forms in ionic compounds, and what is the name of that ion? Okay, so potassium is K, and it is in group 1A, which means that it has one valence electron. So in an ionic compound, potassium has 19 protons and 19 electrons. In an ionic compound, potassium would give away its electron, so then it would have, instead of 19 electrons, it would have 18 electrons. So it's going to have one more positive charge than negative charges, so its charge would be positive 1. Okay, then number 20, we're going to skip number 20. That's something you can just figure out from the book. Number 21 gives us compounds to form from the following elements, and we're to give the names and the chemical formulas. Okay, so the first one is between rubidium and oxygen. Okay, so rubidium is in group 1A, so it has one electron, one valence electron, and oxygen is in group 6A, so that means that it has 6 valence electrons, so it needs, when it gains those electrons, it would have a charge of 2. So we write those, the formula for our chemical compound then would be Rb2O. So we switch the charges, and this would be called rubidium oxide. Okay, so an ion formed from a metal, it just maintains its name, and the ion formed from a non-metal gets the NDI. Okay, so that's 21A. 21B is the compound that would be formed between ceranium and sulfur. Okay, so ceranium is in row 2A, so it has 2 valence electrons, and sulfur is in row 6A, so it would need 2 valence electrons. It would need to gain 2 valence electrons. So its formula then would be Sr2S, but because those numbers are the same, we would just write it like this. And this would be called strontium sulfide. Strontium sulfide. Okay, then 21C asks us to form between calcium and nitrogen. So calcium is in group 2A, so it has 2 valence electrons to give away. Nitrogen is in column 5A, so it needs to gain 3 valence electrons. So we would switch the charges, and it would be Ca3, N2, and this compound would be called calcium nitride. And then 21D is for magnesium and iodine. Okay, so magnesium is in group 2A, so it has 2 valence electrons to give away. And iodine is in group 7A, so it has 1, it would gain 1 valence electron. So we switch the charges and it becomes MgI2. And this would be magnesium iodide. Okay, then for number 22, we are given the name of the compound as calcium fluoride, and we are asked to give its chemical formula. Okay, so calcium and fluorine. Calcium is in row 2A, so it has 2 valence electrons to give away. Fluorine is in row 7A, so it will gain 1 valence electron. So we'll switch these charges and it will be Ca1, which we don't write the 1, F2. That would be calcium fluoride. Okay, number 23 says nitrogen and hydrogen react to form a compound. Is it an ionic compound? So we know that an ionic compound forms between a metal and a non-metal. And so hydrogen is a non-metal. It's blue on the periodic chart, so it is a non-metal. And nitrogen is also a non-metal. It appears as a blue box on the, so this is not ionic because it does not form between a metal and a non-metal. Okay, number 24, what is the chemical formula for iron oxide? Okay, so this is those cases where iron can have more than one charge. So iron is Fe, and this tells us that the charge on the iron is 3. That's what that Roman numeral tells us. And then oxygen is in row 6A, so its charge would be, it would gain 2 electrons, its charge would be -2. So we switch the charges, the iron gets the 2, so it would be Fe2O3. Okay, number 25 is for chromium, which is abbreviated Cr, and it says that it can take on more than one charge in an ionic compound. What is the name of CrCl3? Okay, so this is the chromium and this is chlorine. Well, because we switched the charges, we know that this 3 is the charge that would be on the chromium, and then this 1 would be on the chlorine. So its name would be chromium, and then the Roman numeral 3, and then chloride. because chloride is the non-metal. Okay, so this, because chromium can take on more than one charge, we indicate what charge it has in this particular compound. And then lastly is number 26. And we're given 4 compounds, and we are asked to say whether or not those compounds would conduct electricity. Well, we know that what conducts electricity is something that contains a metal and a non-metal. So these are the ones that we are given. Okay, so if we look at sodium chloride, sodium is a metal, and its number, it's in group 1A, and chloride is a non-metal that is in group 7A. So ionic compounds form between a metal and a non-metal. Yes, this would likely conduct electricity. The next one, K, potassium is a metal, and the rest of these are non-metals, so a metal with a non-metal would likely conduct electricity. Okay, C6H12O6, that's the chemical formula for glucose, and every carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are all non-metals, so that will not conduct electricity. Rubidium is a metal, and sulfur and oxygen are non-metals, so rubidium sulfide should conduct electricity. Okay, that's it for questions 19 through 26 in chapter 4.